Well, welcome everyone to Online Open Day here at Hillsong College. We are so excited that you've chosen to join us today, and you're in for a treat. We've got so many panels with our head trainers, with our admissions staff, just discussing what it actually looks like to study here at Hillsong College. So to kick off Online Open Day, we're going to start with our admissions, our application process, our welcome lounges, what it actually looks like when you arrive and during the application process. I'm Rachel Helms. I'm the brand manager of Hillsong College, and I'd like to introduce you to the panel that we have today. We've got Sloan here, who is our admissions coordinator. We have Danielle, who is a key student here at our Hills campus, who helps facilitate our welcome lounge for the students who are arriving to study here. And then we have Matt, who is a pastoral trainer at our city campus, who also helps facilitate our welcome lounge in the city. So let's kick it off with Sloan, our admissions coordinator. Can you just talk us through the application process and what that looks like?
Yeah, I'd love to. Okay, so we try to make it as easy as possible.
It's good.
So just go online and you can apply. There's a few requirements. We'd love for you to be 18. That's very helpful to move to another country. That you've been serving alongside a pastor for the last year. You can kind of go and see all the little requirements that we have. And then you can just apply and you can submit your application, and then there'll be a conversation with us, and we'll just tell you, hey, we're waiting on one thing, or maybe we just need this document. And don't worry about it. It's just us on the other side of the computer. So we're just going to let you know we're needing this, we're waiting on this, and then your application will be complete.
So is that something that happens quite often, is that people need to fill out further documents for their application?
Yes, I would say very often. So if you're stressing out because you don't have your pastoral reference yet and you're waiting like multiple months because your pastor's not getting back to you because he's really busy, just submit your application anyways, and then we'll keep reminding you, we're just waiting on your pastoral reference, right. And then we'll go on that journey with you.
That sounds great. So after you've submitted your application form, what comes next?
Okay, so your application is complete. So well done, we did it. We completed it. So we just put your application forward for review. So we just have a team that kind of reads over your application, and then you'll be accepted, which is awesome. So once you're accepted, you'll receive an offer of place letter. It's basically just a letter stating, hey, you've been accepted into our course, a few different details about refund policy and all that. And then you'll also get a payment options form. So you'll be able to pay for your course fees and your overseas health coverage.
Great. So let's hit the finance topic. Course fees, what does that look like from a stream perspective for dance or TV worship?
Okay, so I would just recommend go online, go to the Preparing and Fees tab, and there's a fees schedule. And that just shows you a breakdown of what our courses cost. So you'll have to pay for your first semester of course fees and for overseas health coverage. Now, okay, let's just pause right there. I'm going to save all of you a lot of money, okay?
Please.
So if you're thinking about only coming for a year, but you're thinking, well, we might decide to stay for 2 years, I would recommend to pay for 2 or 3 years of overseas health coverage. Why is that? Because for however long of overseas health coverage you pay for, you'll receive another COE. Now, a COE is a confirmation of enrollment, and that allows you to apply for a student visa. So if you apply for a student visa with 3 COEs, you'll get a 3-year student visa, right?
Yes.
Now, if you come, you'll have to pay a little bit more right up front, but if you come for a year and you decide, oh, I actually don't want to stay for 3 years, which would never happen.
Never.
Yeah. You would then be able to be refunded for those 2 years of health coverage that you didn't use, which makes sense. But if you decide that you want to apply for just 1 year of overseas health coverage, then you'd get a 1-year student visa. Every year, you'd have to apply for another student visa. Okay. Now, here's the catch. A student visa, whether it's for 1 year or 3 years, is the exact same price. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. So just to clarify, for those of you who might be a little bit confused, you can come and study at Hillsong College for 1 year, for 2 years, or for 3 years, and you can exit after 1 year or 2 years. So that's your decision. In my experience, I came to do 1 year, and I have never left. And I feel like that is the experience of a number of us who have come to study here at Hillsong College. But if not, there is the option to just study for 1 year, and you will end up with a certificate in ministry. If you stay for 2 years, you'll qualify with a diploma of ministry, and after 3, you'll have an advanced diploma of ministry. All those course details will be covered in our panel that's coming up next. But just so you know, when you're applying, You can apply for just the first year, and then you can decide later on if you want to stay for the second or third year. So after you've applied for your health cover, you'll receive the confirmation of enrollment, the COE, and then visas. Can you talk us through that briefly?
Yep, so you'll get your COE, which just has an 8-digit code right at the top, and you'll use that code to apply for your student visa.
And you must have the COE to apply for your visa?
Yeah, so your COE is basically us telling immigration, yes, this student has applied for our course, is going to study with us if they get their visa granted.
Wonderful.
Yep.
So after you've completed that process, you have your visa, celebrations happen, and then...
And then, so basically, you will receive an accommodation link. So you'll get to apply for housing. Right. You'll get to, once your visa is granted, book your flight, and then you can communicate with our accommodation department when you're arriving, and then that shifts you into the welcome team.
Great.
When you arrive.
Awesome. So accommodation, what does that look like?
Okay, so we have houses and apartments within a 10 to 40-minute walk from both of our campuses, in the hills and in the city. And you will get to live with anywhere from 4 to maybe 7 other students, depending on the size of the house or the apartment. It's awesome. When I came here, I lived with a Brazilian, 2 Australians, someone from the UK, Switzerland, Norway, and then me from America. So it's just really fun because you get to know people from all over the world, and whenever I go and travel, I can go and stay with them, which is awesome.
Yeah. Let me just also clarify again. We have a city campus and a hills campus, and accommodation is actually provided, or you can apply for accommodation at both. So Matt, do you just want to talk us through your accommodation experience? You were at the Hills?
Yes, that's right. I was here. I came through in 2010, middle of 2010.
Where'd you come from, Matt?
From New Zealand, Tauranga.
Kapai.
Taku, Maunga. No, so I turned up at the airport. I got dropped off at the Hills campus, took a shuttle. I got here, I signed a few documents with Joy at the time, which was awesome. They had a bit of a welcome lounge going. I had a Tim Tam, which is a bit of a favorite cookie here. And then I got picked up by an Italian guy who took me in a van to Coles, which is one of our supermarkets here. And I got some food. I ended up buying like only 2-minute noodles and bananas. And he looks at me and he's like, do you need some more? And I'm like, no, this will last me a while, right? Get there, and I'm like, I'm now out of food, like straight away. But got to my house. I was there with a whole diverse range of people. We had an American, we had a Scottish guy, 2 Japanese students, and a Brazilian. And it was just awesome. I was homesick the first night, and then from there, I just felt so at home. I'd made friends straight away, and we're all in the boat together. We'd all come from overseas, and then just clicked straight away. And 21 Vanessa Court, that's where I was living, just out the back here.
It's such a unique environment that we've all been able to be a part of. Just being with people from so many different cultures, you just get to learn so much about the world, and I think your worldview is just enhanced and expands. Yeah, it's quite incredible.
Definitely.
So after you've applied for housing, you book your tickets, you kiss your loved ones goodbye, and then you arrive in Sydney, Australia, which is super exciting. So Danielle, could you just talk us through the process when you actually get off the plane? What happens then?
So the important thing to note is when you get off the plane, the hardest part is over. Honestly, you've made it all the way to the bottom of the world to Sydney, Australia. So congratulations. But pretty much with both our Hills and our City campus, we have what's called a welcome team. So once you get off the plane at the airport, you will essentially be met by a couple of really awesome students wearing Hillsong College shirts. And they'll just say, hello, hi, welcome to the country. And then they'll actually be able to help you get onto either a shuttle if you're coming out to the Hills campus, or a taxi or an Uber or something like that if you're going to the City campus. Then when you get to your campuses, pretty much Hills. If you get to Hills, Matt, I think we'll talk a little bit more about City. But you'll be met again by another welcome team. And this welcome team is to ensure that A, you're not alone. Because you've come all the way here, we're not going to leave you on your own.
Very important.
It's very important. There will not be a point where you will actually just be chilling by yourself. Because we have a welcome lounge. And when you're in that welcome lounge, a couple of really key important things happen. Firstly, you get your accommodations. You'll sign all of your accommodation paperwork and get that all sorted. Very important to have a house. Very important. Secondly, we'll be able to help you essentially set up your bank account. So if you'd like an Australian bank account, we can help you set that up with one of our major banks here down under. And then The other thing that we're able to help you with is getting your phone sorted. If you've bought a brand new iPhone or you've got a Samsung, whatever it is, we can actually assist you in getting a SIM card for it. Because let's be real, mum and dad are going to want to hear from you. And if you don't call them, they will call us. So we're going to help you get that SIM card so that we're not getting phone calls from your parents. Or their parents, if you want to call us, you can, just so you know. And then essentially, once all that's sorted, we're going to help you, just like Matt. We're going to help you make wise choices and get some Weet-Bix, get some bread, and get some actual food from the supermarket.
Bananas, potassium.
Bananas, it's good 2-minute noodles on that student budget. And then we'll drop you off at your house. And then, yeah, when you're at your house, we'll be able to connect you with all of the new students that you're living with.
Awesome. Could I pick up on that?
I'd love you to.
Yeah, the Welcome Lounge is not just for the first day when you get here. It's actually going to be going for a couple of weeks. And the great thing about the Welcome Lounge is that you'll be meeting people in your semester. Everybody will be turning up, the new students. They've come from Italy, you've come from New Zealand, I'm American, oh, you're an American as well, which state? And you're all just talking about your experience and you're all getting excited, realizing that you're going to be doing this journey together as a semester. And that'll be going on for like weeks. There'll be trips happening in the city. I know the Welcome Lounge we organise. We have trips to the Opera House, a bit of a famous location here in Sydney. We've got trips to Bondi Beach. We do a beach walk from Bondi to Bronte, which is really cool. We head to IKEA. We head to a couple of other really cool spots around Sydney. Manly, I think, we do a bit of a ferry. And
And I think for the hills as well, just because we are a little bit further out from the city doesn't mean that there's not a lot to do. It's actually a whole heap to do. 20 minutes from here, there's a drive-in movie theatre. We also have Castle Towers, which is our local mall. And essentially, there's a movie theatre there. There are places to eat. We also do take trips to the city because, hey, you've come to Sydney. You might as well see the sights. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot for you to do, particularly in your first 2 weeks. You're going to be very busy, very full, but it's definitely a good way to kick off your new life in Australia.
amazing.
That's right. So we've all actually come ourselves and been through Hillsong College. So we definitely understand what that journey looks like and the fear and anxiety that can come into your life. But we honestly believe that once you get here, you'll just be part of such an incredible community of people, not just our students, but also our trainers who just get around you. And it's a common phrase used here that we actually believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And we are so here to help you on this journey and and help you have a successful time here at Hillsong College. I'd just like to mention for any Australian and New Zealanders watching, first of all, kia ora to all our New Zealanders, that you do not actually have to apply for a visa. Obviously, Australians, you live here, but New Zealanders, if you're coming here, you don't need a visa to live in Australia, which is great. So thanks for joining this panel on admissions and applications. If you haven't had your questions answered, we are actually hosting Skype calls currently. So just jump onto our website and you can sign up for a Skype call. You can talk to one of our team and kind of get into a bit of nitty-gritty of details that you might not have got from this particular panel. But make sure you stick around. We've got our head trainers coming up next, talking about our dance, TV media, our production, our worship, and our pastoral streams. We also have a lecture from our academic dean, so there's plenty more to come. So make sure you stick around, and thanks for joining us.